Are you gonna say hello? Oh, good job. Alright. It's a party, it's a party, it's a party. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, I'm Jasmine. What's up? So in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys my birth story and everything that happened around it and how Mr. Kainoa here got here. Say hello. He said, to who am I saying hello to? It's okay, you'll get used to this.
Now I do what I want, now I do what I want. Everybody know I'm better, ay, yeah, I'm better.
Fun fact, I've had this shirt for like 5 years. Monster. What? Okay, so where to begin? The day that I turned 40 weeks, we had a appointment with our midwife, which you guys saw in our labor vlog. We had went to that appointment so that she could check my blood pressure, because during my pregnancy my blood pressure had been high for the last month and a half of my pregnancy, so they had been monitoring me like extra close. And so we went there and I got my labs done and my blood drawn, all that stuff, and she stripped my membrane. So if you don't know what that is, it's when they go inside you and they separate the sac that the baby's in from your cervix. I don't know why, but it usually gets labor going, and so they don't really like to do it until you've hit your due date. So she ended up stripping my membranes and it was really painful. And then we came home and we went for a walk, and when we were going for a walk, my contractions started becoming stronger, and I had contractions that morning as well. They were coming pretty frequently, but they weren't like super painful. And so when we were on the walk that afternoon, my contractions were super painful, but it was only when I was walking, so I figured it wasn't labor, it was just my body just doing what it needed to do. So then we came home from our walk and I was super exhausted, so we took a nap. As you guys saw in our labor vlog, my water broke at 10:30 p.m. that same day. So my water breaks, my contractions start coming more frequently and just stronger. And so I labored at home from 10:30 p.m. till 3 a.m., about 3:20 a.m. And then that's when we headed to the birth center. So at that point my contractions were so strong, but I was still able to work through them. So I labor at the birth center from 3 a.m. and then around noon, my midwife checked me and I was only 3 centimeters. Usually, if you're laboring for that long, you're already at like a 5 maybe, and then you'll hit like a 6 and 7, and that's when the strong ones are coming and you have to make it to 10 centimeters. It usually doesn't take as long as it was taking for me, so the fact that I wasn't even progressing even a centimeter was kind of a problem and annoying. So anyways, we end up doing some fetal movement, so to get the baby moving, try to get him into that canal. I don't think it's that serious. Then we went walking and my contractions were so strong when I was walking, and I would just like collapse to the ground because I was in so much pain. Are you serious right now? Anyways, so I really didn't like walking. I didn't like doing the stairs because I was in so much pain. I just wanted to go back into the tub and labor in the tub, but I had already been laboring in the tub for like 3 hours at that point, so I had to like just get things moving. And so I ended up taking a nap. I was low-key passing out in between contractions. I wouldn't even call it a nap because I don't even remember that period of time, and they were so strong. I really think I was just passing out in between them. But anyways, she checks me at 3:30 and I'm still only 3 centimeters, so I have had no progression. And at this time I should have had some progression and I've had none. My midwife was just like, you know what, like you should go to the hospital. At this point you're just suffering and you're gonna need some Pitocin because your body's not doing what it's supposed to be doing. So we just want to make sure everything's all right and get you some Pitocin and get your body to pretty much go into labor. It's a hot girl summer, so you know, I trust them, and if they suggest that I do something, then I'm gonna do it. So I was like, I guess we're going to the hospital. I was upset, but I was just like, fine, I'll just go. So she went to go talk to the midwives over at Swedish to set me up, and it turns out that the midwives said the same thing that I was told before, that they couldn't deliver my baby for me, and that I would have to go through a doctor because their doctor won't let them deliver or deal with any patients that don't take blood anymore, which is what I was told earlier in my pregnancy from a different hospital. So now I don't know if it's just the hospitals in Seattle, they're all starting to do it, but that's what we were told. That irritated me even more. So now I'm going to a hospital. That's an environment I didn't want to be in, and now I'm gonna have a doctor. I'm not even gonna have the midwives that I wanted. And I wouldn't be able to have my water birth like I wanted because they let you labor in the tub at the hospital, but they won't let you give birth in the tub. They make you get out. So I knew that I wasn't gonna have a water birth anymore like I wanted. So everything was just kind of like becoming out of my hands, and like it just wasn't part of my birth plan anymore. So we head to the hospital and we get checked in. Everything's going. They're like hooking me up to the IVs, which I didn't even want, but it's fine. So when they give you the Pitocin, your contractions start coming more frequently and they come harder. So I could barely like move. My contractions started becoming so painful. Every time a contraction stopped, I would try to rush out of the bed to get to the bathroom because I would have to use the bathroom. Oh, babies. Hey. Oh, you're upset. I'm upset too. This was not a fun time, huh? So the contractions were coming really strong, and then his heart rate dropped, and they weren't able to keep track of it like they wanted to. So they were like, we're gonna put a monitor in you. Mind you, they had already put a monitor in me for the Pitocin, but now they were putting a monitor in me to monitor his heartbeat, and it's like an antenna that they screw into their head. And he had like a scab on the back of his head from it. It was so horrible. So many sirens today. Who else is dying? Like, confused. I know. Ridiculous. Honestly, getting that device put in was the worst pain I've ever been through in my entire life. I have a pretty high pain tolerance, and that was so horrible. I was like in the bed yelping, and the lady like messed up. They said I wasn't relaxing or something, and I'm just like, how are you supposed to relax when something is being shoved up you that shouldn't be? Like, whoa. That was horrible. So she like messes up and has to go back in and do it again. And so at that point, I was so angry. I had been in labor for over 24 hours, and I was just like, I'm done doing this. I'm not in the right mind frame. I'm mentally and like physically tired. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. So after she was done, I was like, give me the epidural. Everything else I didn't want, I was already getting and I was already having. So I was like, why would I be in pain at this point? This makes no sense. Why not just get the epidural? Like, I didn't want it. I didn't ever want to do that. But I also didn't ever want to give birth at a hospital with a doctor and get all these drugs and just other stuff. I never wanted that for myself. So I'm like, might as well just not be in pain while I'm getting all these things I don't want to do. So I get the epidural. I'm able to go to sleep at this point, but his heart rate keeps dropping. So from midnight to 4 a.m. his heart rate dropped 3 more times, and the doctor had came in at 2 a.m. and she was like, you know what, I really don't like that his heart rate keeps dropping, and every time it drops it's down for about 5 minutes, but if it's down close to 10, we're gonna have to give you a C-section, because every time his heart rate drops we have to stop the Pitocin, and the Pitocin was the only thing making my body do what it needed to do so that he could come out, if that makes sense. So she was like, at this point you're gonna be here for like 4 days, like if we have to keep stopping the Pitocin to get his heart rate back up, etc. So then at 4 a.m. or like 4:30 a.m. she comes in. They wake me up because his heart rate dropped again. She was like, it was down for close to 10 minutes, so we're gonna have to give you a C-section. And I was like, you're kidding. So she's like, no, sorry, like this is what we have to do. It's not like a huge emergency right now, but this can quickly turn into an emergency. So she was like, I just don't like that his heart rate keeps going down. Like that's just not good for him. So I was just like, okay. And I had just sent my 2 friends home who had been with me for over 24 hours, had not slept in 2 days. I sent them home at midnight to go get sleep because having the epidural, we knew I wasn't going to even have the baby before 8 a.m. the next day. So I sent them home. So I was like, how long can you wait? She's like, I'm not waiting. Like, we're taking you to the OR right now. And I'm just like, oh my goodness. Like, this is so crazy to me. She's like going over like what the OR is gonna be like. She's like, it's gonna be cold, it's gonna be loud, it's gonna be bright, or maybe she didn't say loud, she said bright and cold, and just telling me what was gonna happen. And I don't know, she just explained it all really fast, which it's fine. I already knew what happens in a C-section. Talked to me for like 2 minutes, and then they rolled me into the OR, and it was just like, is this really happening right now? So Xavier got his scrubs on and all that, and then we headed to the OR. Since I already had the epidural, they didn't have to like hook me up to anything else. They just pumped in more epidural, I don't know, and just tested me to make sure I was numb higher up so that I wouldn't be able to feel anything. So they did that for a couple minutes, and then they just cut me open and they took the baby out. And I didn't feel them cut, I didn't feel them take him out, but I did feel them putting everything back in. It wasn't like a horrible feeling. I tried not to let my mind go into like what was actually happening to me. It was more just feeling like someone was kind of like pushing on your stomach near your rib cage, but they really were like just shoving everything back in. So they take Mr. Kainoa out of me, and they take him over to the table, and the doctor says he's doing okay, and then Xavier goes over there with him, and they're like just sucking some stuff out of him. And I asked if there was meconium, because I had meconium, which is his poop, in my amniotic fluid back at home. So that's why if you saw my labor vlog, it had an odor and like it was a different color, because his poop was in there, which can be bad and can give them an infection when they come out, depending on the amount that's in there. But the amount that I had wasn't very bad, so he didn't get any infections or anything. So they're sucking all that out of him, and they hand him to Xavier, and then Xavier's looking at him, and Xavier brings him to me, and he does like this cry, and then Xavier puts Kainoa's like cheek onto mine, and I was like talking in his ear, and he stopped crying. Huh, Kainoa? Do you remember that? Do you remember? Love you. It was an interesting experience having a C-section, but also because of the meconium and them not putting him straight on my chest, I just feel like I didn't get that part that I wanted, where like I wanted him on my chest immediately, but instead he got taken away for a couple minutes and then brought to me, and we still didn't do skin to skin. I mean, we had our cheeks together, but besides that, we couldn't even do that until we got into the room. They laid him in between my legs on the way back to the room, and then when we got to the room, he immediately started breastfeeding, and so that was our final time together. So he had been out of me for like 20 minutes because they had to sew me up before we really got to bond and like see each other. So that's really sad, and it sucks, but it was all for a good reason, everything that I went through, because when she took him out of me, she discovered that his umbilical cord was wrapped around his feet and his neck, and so that's why my body wasn't progressing. That's why his heart rate kept dropping, because every time he moved, his umbilical cord would like pull, and so that's why he wasn't able to get deep enough into the birth canal, because their head pushes down, and that's what makes your cervix open, and his head wasn't able to get down there because he wasn't able to get down there. So although everything that I wanted I didn't get, I still got a healthy baby, and he tried to do what he was supposed to do, and he just couldn't. And at this point, I can tell this story without crying, which is beautiful, because I've told it so many times to like our family and friends. I know, but you can cry still. It was traumatic for both of us. Yeah, it was. You tried hard, huh? You did. You just wanted to come out. You just wanted to meet me, huh? You just wanted to meet me. I wanted to meet you. We gotta thank our God in the heavens for keeping you alive. But I did get a couple things I wanted, and that was to labor in a birth tub, which I did, and I really enjoyed it. And then the other thing was to just labor naturally, which I did for a long time, and I got to experience that. Love you. So it was just crazy, because I went through just so much in that time period, like laboring, being at the birth center, laboring in the water, being transferred to the hospital, being at the hospital, getting the Pitocin, having my contractions just jump to being so powerful, which is actually kind of normal, but the Pitocin just helps sped that along. to getting all those devices put into me, to epidural, to C-sections, just like, what? It's just so crazy. I don't know. I just did not think I was gonna get a C-section. I did not think I was gonna be in labor that long, and it just wasn't my plan. And I get that people are like, your birth plan doesn't always go to plan. It's like, yes, I know this, but I like things to go my way, and when they don't, I'm upset, which I was upset. I was upset for probably like 2 days, but it was more like 2 days after I was home, because when I was at the hospital, I was on a bunch of drugs for pain, so we were just able to just enjoy that time at the hospital. But once I got home and I just realized what had happened, I was just like, I really got a C-section. I really went through all that. That's so crazy. But yeah, guys, that's my birth story, and that's what happened. I have a healthy baby boy, Kainoa Armand Shelley, and I'm just absolutely obsessed with him. Although everything didn't go to plan, I had a healthy baby in the end, and I am blessed, and I'm happy, and I am grateful. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the story. I know a lot of people just wanted to hear what happened, how he got here, and so I'm glad that I was able to share that with you guys finally. I'm thinking about doing a pregnancy and labor Q&A in case I missed anything. So if you have any questions, leave them down below, or DM me on Instagram, hit me up on Snapchat. If you like this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed yet. I would truly appreciate it. Alright, let me know what other videos you guys are looking forward to seeing from me. We're definitely going to get back on our vlogging game. Been slacking because pregnancy was really hard. I'm still just healing and kind of just getting back to my normal self, and it feels wonderful because pregnancy kicked my butt. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!